I want to pay my acknowledgements to the traditional owners of the land and also acknowledge that since 1788, if you're not an Aboriginal person, then you're a boat person. We're all boat people. And in fact, it was the only boat people that ever caused a threat to this country were those that came in 1788 and brutalised the land. The people who come today come for safety, come for a human life. Well, Bob Brown was right when he tweeted in to the debate, the so-called pain of the leadership debate, and said the word boats is getting more prominence than hospitals, than schools, than pensions. That's what this sorry, cowardly demonising of human beings is all about. It's all about a smokescreen. It's all about trying to keep the eyes of people on demonising those who are seeking safety rather than on the real problems, the real social problems that people face, to find a scapegoat and distraction. Well, it's 2 weeks until the election. Are we going to fight with every ounce of our fibre to make sure this isn't another Tampa election? Yeah. We've got to fight in every way possible to say that it's unacceptable that refugees be used as a political football, that this cowardly race to the bottom from Liberal and Labor is unacceptable. To heat up the real problems, we have the gall of a rich country, Australia, saying East Timor, after you've struggled for your independence, after you're one of the poorest countries in the world, we want you to be our refugee prison. Rich Australia, we're not going to do it. We want to make you a refugee prison over there. Well, the East Timorese people and their government did the right thing. They said, no way. If we had refugees here, we'd want them to be in our schools. That's what the Timorese said. We'd want them to be in our schools. We'd want them to be in our hospitals, getting our health care in our communities. So I ask you, which is the developed country? Which is the really developed country? In my mind, it's East Timor, when they have that humanity, and in Australia, it's about barbed wire and concentration camps. Shame! But we believe we've got to battle until election, but the battle will continue. We know that whoever is elected on August 21, the battle is still going to continue. In fact, 3 days after the election, we need everyone here who can make it to come and rally at the High Court to stop deportations, pending deportations of people who could be sent back to war zones, sent back to persecution, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan. This is what is overhanging these people. We need a huge people's movement. That's what the Refugee Action Coalition is all about. We need a movement that is in the streets. We need a movement that is in the churches. We need a movement that is in the universities, that is in the schools, that is in the unions, that is in the workplaces. A movement that they can't ignore. A movement that rips the inhumanity out of the hands of the politicians and puts the power in the hands of the people. Now is a long way away, but every day we can try and bring it closer. Today we brought it a little bit closer. By doing nothing, we don't bring it closer. We've got to bring it closer every day that we can. We've got to get a movement that brings down the fences, the wire fences, that is ultimately putting innocent people on one side of a barbed wire fence. Innocent people who are just like us. We want those fences down because we want to hold hands with those people. Those refugees behind the barbed wire are not only innocent, they are some of the most heroic people. Some of the most, it's not just about tolerance, it's about respect. I respect every refugee inside that detention centres more than I give a scrap for those politicians, Labor and Liberal. There is a little bit of our humanity behind that razor wire. We are less human when they are behind there, and we want that humanity back. Everyone here listening now has talents that you can bring to the campaign. You might have musical skills that we can have a rock for refugees. You might have computer skills. You might be able to hand out pamphlets. You might be able to put up posters. You might be able to call people. Whatever it is, we need it. The People's Movement need it. The Refugee Action Coalition needs it. Now, just to finish with, yes, it seems far away. The People's Movement we need for humanity in this country, for human rights for refugees. But no doubt, in apartheid South Africa, there were times when the idea that apartheid could come down was so crazy, so difficult to see. But it was those people who kept fighting at that time, who kept pushing, who kept saying, no, this isn't humanity, and we have truth and right on our side, and we will have a day when apartheid is gone. That battled through. When the protests against the Vietnam War started, and then there were 10 people, and they got trampled by police horses, but they battled on, and there was a huge people's movement ultimately, and a people's movement stopped the war. So we can vote in 2 weeks' time, and we should vote with compassion. We should vote with refugee rights in mind. We should shame the racist parties, but we should know that it's not really the people in Parliament House that are going to do the job. It is the people here on the streets that are going to do the job. It has always been the people on the streets that have won any change for humanity, any change for civil rights, any change for justice. And I salute you for being here today. I salute the refugees who are struggling behind the razor wire. Are we with the refugees? Yes! And will we continue with the refugees until they are free? Yes! Free, free the refugees!
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 Thank you. Stay involved, get in touch, put your name down with Refugee Action Coalition, keep up the struggle, and one day we will be arm in arm with every one of the refugees, and the racist and the inhumane policies will be the dustbin of history. Thank you.